Okay, we're recording now.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. Okay, so I would like to call this meeting to order. Welcome to the 135th board meeting for the Internet Society. And first of all, let me welcome everyone. We didn't get apologies from any of the trustees, but Hiroshi hasn't joined so far. So we are basically all but Hiroshi. We have pinged him through several channels, so hopefully he will be joining soon. Do we have any declaration of conflicts based on the agenda we have prepared?
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Desiree, please.
I'd like to recuse myself from the update on PIR.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Alice?
I would also like to recuse myself from any PIR discussions.
Okay, perfect. So John, please note that as our secretary.
Right, and this is Gihan.
Gihan, yes?
Yeah, so since I'm on contesting in the election, I might recuse myself on anything to do with the election, including possibly the report of the nominations committee. If it is in the open thing, I would have done it, but if it's in closed, I probably would not be there. Okay, it depends. I mean, if there is anything sensitive, I will not be there.
Okay, yeah, no, I understand. I'm just checking. It's not scheduled to be discussed in closed executive session, so you should be okay.
I thought Alice just wanted to move it to executive session.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, as part of the agenda bus. Yeah, good point. Okay, thanks, Giham. So we will know that. Yeah,
and
so, yes.
Gonzalo, just the same for me.
Okay,
I didn't declare anything because it was in the open session, but if something is moved to closed, it's up to Alice to tell us if it's sensitive, so I will recuse then.
Okay. Maybe Alice, do you think it's sensitive what you need to discuss or?
No, it's not sensitive. It doesn't impact on any of the nominees or the candidates. It's more to do with the board process and the nominating committee process.
Okay, excellent. So then you should be okay. And then as part of the agenda bus, we're going to be moving point 5 to the closed executive session right after the break on Alice's request. So let me make a note there. But since it's only a 5-minute slot, it shouldn't, and we are already 15 minutes late, it shouldn't be affecting the way we run the meeting anyway. Okay, any further agenda bus at this point before we start? Okay, good. So we have the consent agenda, which is point number 2 on your agendas, and we have a set of resolutions basically that we would like to pass as regards the approval of the meeting, the acceptance of the year-end financial report, and the acceptance of the 2017 action plan. You have everything on the agenda, as I said. So you can read the resolutions there. I'm not going to read the resolutions here aloud. So first, we have a proposed resolution for the approval of the consent agenda. Anyone would like to move the motion? Alice? Some seconds. Okay. So we're going to do this by
Sorry, who seconded? I didn't see.
Sean.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. We're going to do this by voice vote. So all in favor of approving the resolution, please say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Everybody against, please say no. And everybody abstaining, please say aye. Okay, the resolution is approved unanimously. The next resolution we have is to approve the minutes of the 134th board meeting. We're gonna do this.
That was in the consent agenda. We're up to me now.
Okay, so that was for the 3 resolutions.
Right.
John. Okay, perfect. Okay, then moving to the point number 3. By the way, I mean, since we are in Zoom meeting, I think I'm going to do raise hands instead of voice because otherwise it's a bit messy actually for the votes. So point number 3 is to confirm the e-votes that we have passed since the last board meeting. As you know now, we are actually, passing resolutions by e-vote, and when they are unanimously basically passed, we don't have to confirm them. But anyway, you received another report separately with the e-votes that we had. So would somebody like to make the motion?
There's no motion. However, I do have a comment to make. We don't need to move these. However, we did 3 e-votes. We approved the IAB slate. Okay. Then one of the candidates dropped out, and we had to approve a revised IAB slate. Unless somebody objects, I would just like to discard the first vote since it didn't have any effect. Okay. Then we also approved the change to the 401k. There's no question about that. So I would like to record 2 votes and then discard the one that didn't actually that had no effect. If anybody objects, please let me know.
I would be fine discarding one that didn't have any effect.
Okay, thanks, Richard. Any other comments?
Yeah, this is Gihan. I believe it's not good practice. If we had a vote and it's recorded, we'll just let it be. It's just a waste of a vote number, but it does show that there was a vote, because later on there may be some IETF issue which comes up, and then there's no record at the ISOC level that we did actually have 2 different votes. So
okay.
Just let it.
I'll put it back in.
For the record, I discussed the question of that first vote with the candidate that was ultimately dropped being public in our minutes, and the non-com chair did not have any problem with that.
Okay, he's back.
Okay, if the candidate doesn't have any problem, I don't have a strong opinions on that. I would lean towards simplifying and removing the vote, but Gihan's point is a valid one. So is everybody happy with that solution? We keep the initial vote as well? Okay, so let's do that. Thank you, John. And I agree we don't need a resolution for this, actually, as reflected in the agenda. Okay, perfect. So moving on to the point number 4 in the agenda, we would like to welcome the new chapter and special interest group. So we have 2 resolutions. You can read them there. And the first one is about welcoming the new chapter from Panama. And would someone like to make the motion? Haris, who seconds it? Hans-Peter. So Haris moved, Hans-Peter second. And I think we can approve this by acclamation. Okay, perfect. Moving on to the next resolution to welcome the new special interest group on blockchain. Would somebody make the motion? Walid makes the motion.
It's
oh, yeah. Do you want to make the motion?
Yes,
Walid?
yes.
Okay, excellent. So Walid made the motion and Olga seconded.
Okay.
Okay. And again, we can approve this resolution by acclamation. Perfect, thank you. And you have all the material as usual in the pack that you received beforehand and in the public agenda. Okay, so moving on to point number 5 of the agenda, which we agreed during the agenda batch to move into the closed executive session. So we will be discussing after the break, basically. That will have a resolution. Since the resolution, we would like to pass it publicly, we may actually be moving the actual, approval of the resolution to the session open to observers after the executive session. That should be okay. Okay, perfect. And then as the last point in our first session, which is open to observers, we would like to get updates on the dashboard items. As you know, we have a task dashboard where we actually record the action points different trustees are basically working on, and we would like to get an update on that. So Kevin, do you want to run that, or should I?
If you have my email, you have the information to run that.
Okay, then I'll do that. Excellent. Okay, give me 1 second. Here. Okay, so the task number 1 is on Alice, and it's about the board evaluation document. Alice, if you could provide a brief status update, that would be great.
Okay. Well, thank you for this. As you know, I provided a document for discussion to the board through the governance committee, and we haven't really moved much with it. We are still considering how best to approach the work, but due to workload on my end, I did mention to Walid that I couldn't get to it until I had completed the work of the nominating committee. So the expectation is that we will pick it up sometime next week, or Walid will pick it up himself. He seems to have more time and lead it. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Alice. That's perfect. Okay. The second point is to add TLS support to the ISOC's webpage, and that's with Sean at this point. So, Sean.
I can say that the staff has successfully completed my action item. I got word from Lincoln McNay and Todd this morning that it's been live as of Thursday. Apparently there's been no problems. They are monitoring it though to see if anything happens. So, kudos to the staff and Richard for kicking this off and getting it done. I basically just shepherded the whole thing. So,
excellent.
Yeah, big thanks to the staff for helping out on this.
Action item completed.
Excellent. Thanks a lot. And Kevin, if you could make a note of that'd be perfect. Thank you. Excellent. Moving on to point number 3, which is the PIR board nomination process. I guess Hans-Peter will give an update on that in point number 7 of the agenda, so we don't have to go through it now. Point number 4, action number 4 is nomination and elections committee, and that's with Haris at this point. So, Haris, can you give a brief status update?
Sure. We have already initiated the elections process with the nominations that was provided by Alice. We added the ability of 2 mailing lists so that discussions can happen on the mailing list in addition to the forum if they choose to. But I think there has been more spirited conversations going on the mailing list on both for the orgs and the chapters. And I think it seems to be working quite well. And every day I'm monitoring and managing that. So Walid is on my committee as well. So we both are looking at that quite nicely. And I think it's based on Kevin's feedback to me, it seems to be there. It's no complaints so far to the process of the discussions going on the meeting. So that's the only update I have right now.
Okay. Thank you, Haris. Thanks. Excellent. The next point is it's action number 5, which is the conflict of interest policy for the ISOC board. And maybe Walid can give a brief update on behalf of the governance committee.
Yes, sure. The idea was that we'd like to, let's say, give the responsibility of revising the guidance to the non-com to the next governance committee that will be elected after the next meeting. That will be useful since we have not had the time actually to implement any new changes. As you recall, we have no agreement about the disqualifying factors that would create, let's say, in relation to conflict of interest, since there have been controversial questions about affiliation, employment, funding resources. So since we didn't have the consensus on that, we decided that we could keep the guidance as is, and hopefully the next governance committee could look into the experience of the current non-com that have just completed its work, and from that bring recommendations to the next GovCom to help adjust the guidance if necessary. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that makes sense given the time frame, Walid. So thanks. If you could work with Kevin so that we make sure that the actual document is basically transferred to the new governance committee whenever we decided, how the committee is formed in the next AGM, that would be perfect. So thanks. Excellent. Perfect. Point number 6 is with Desiree, which is a status update on the board retreat in Croatia. Desiree, do you have any update?
Yes, I have a brief update. We have getting closer to identifying the hotel, and there seem to be some changes as opposed to a couple of venues identified last year in Hvar and in Split. I think this time we're looking at a hotel in Dubrovnik. You'd remember that few of us go to ITF meetings in Prague, so it was important that people could leave end of Friday and arrive to the venue to be ready for the Saturday board retreat. And with changing the venue to Dubrovnik, I think it would be good to know, to revise those dates to see if Saturday is still feasible or whether we need to actually look at Sunday and Monday as the dates for the board retreat.
Okay, thank you, Desiree. Yeah, that's a good point because I mean, like, while we saw that, yeah, there were some direct flights from Prague to Croatia, where a bunch of us will be right before attending the ITF meeting. Yeah, it may not be possible actually to arrive in time to start on Saturday morning. So I would say at this point, all trustees, please pencil in from Saturday to Monday, so everything is blocked in your calendars. And then we will decide if we can, stick to the original plan, which is doing Saturday and Sunday, or we have to do Saturday and Monday. Sunday and Monday. Yes. Everybody understood that? Okay, perfect. Yeah, thank you, Desiree. Thanks. Excellent. Okay, this was useful, actually. Okay, point number 7 is on Hans-Peter, which is, yes, sure.
Yeah, so I'm just looking at Google Maps, and Dubrovnik is in a separate part of Croatia than Zagreb and most of the other parts. So I guess there is a way to get there, or do we have to go via Bosnia-Herzegovina? I mean, how is the travel arrangement to get to that place?
So it's there are very few direct flights to Dubrovnik. There are a lot of charter flights throughout the summer from many European cities, and so I would think Frankfurt and London and wherever you are changing the flights. So that should not be a problem. This particular case was with regards to Prague because there was direct flight between Prague and Split, and Zagreb is the capital, but there aren't many more direct flights to Zagreb. And
right, I'm more worried about visas. I really don't want to get visas for Bosnia or some other country just to get to that place. So
Bosnia is a separate country, so you don't need to fly through Bosnia to get to Croatia.
Okay.
And I'll have a look on the Croatian website, what are the requirements for Sri Lankan?
Right. No, I mean, getting a visa to one country is sometimes bad enough, but getting transit visas to random countries just to get there sometimes becomes quite a bit messy. But none of these are Schengen visas, right? These are all outside the EU.
Croatia is in EU, so it's part of European Union.
Okay, in that case, it shouldn't be a problem. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think you will have a problem. They joined a few years back, and I mean, I cannot see why you would have a problem. But anyway, I mean, we will follow up on that to make sure that there's not.
Right. No, it's these visas are sometimes things which some people do not realize is a big problem.
I fully understand. Yeah, that's
thanks
right.
for raising that.
Thank you.
Croatia is in the EU, but it's not in Schengen. It is a separate visa.
It's not in Schengen. Okay, that's a good point. Okay, then we'll look into that. Thanks. I wasn't aware of that fact, actually. Okay, perfect. But anyway, also Nicole and Kevin are looking into that, so you can actually reach out to Desiree and Nicole and Kevin, and they will be working on that. Okay, excellent. As I was saying before, moving on to point number 7 in the agenda, Hans-Peter will be talking. Oh, no, sorry. No, point number 7, actually, yeah, Hans-Peter is dealing with working on choosing a solution for anonymous e-votes for the board on a system that fulfills our requirements. So Hans-Peter, do you have any status update on that?
A very short report. No real progress has been made. My plan is to do 1 or 2 test installations and show it to you over the next weeks. We exchanged email just this morning, which is also part of it. So no real progress, but still in good hope to be in good shape for the AGM, having something in place.
Okay, excellent, Hans-Peter. Thank you very much. So, Kevin, you can update the ETA towards the AGM, so we are all on the same page. Perfect. Point 8 on the agenda, it's about the 2 recommendations we got from the chapters, and we will be discussing that, so we don't need to do that now. And then point number 9 is to discuss the recording policy for board meetings, and the token is with me. So as you know, the last meeting we had, we got a recommendation, basically a suggestion from the chapters that while it was good that we were webcasting the whole meeting, sometimes it was an inconvenient time. In particular, when we were meeting in India, it was quite inconvenient for many people to join at that point. I mean, many people that intended to join. Obviously, no matter where you are, it's going to be inconvenient for someone. So we decided to work on a policy to be able to basically post all these videos online, so that people can watch them later. We checked before starting this meeting with the board, we had consensus, so this is what we're going to be doing. And you will see also the fact that when you get the link to join this meeting, you have to go through a page and click OK, that you agree with the terms, which are basically pretty much standard terms. So I think it's good, and I think that's a good step in terms of achieving more transparency for the board, so we are quite happy to be implementing that policy. And that much about that action point. So Kevin, I think at this point you can actually mark it as closed. Yeah. Then point number 10 is that we were working on how to reach individual members. And we're going to be discussing this in point number 14 of the agenda, so we don't have to discuss that here now either. Point 11 is with Olga. It's about future open board forum sessions, but I'm not sure if Olga can speak. Olga, is your microphone working, or? Olga, if you can hear us, maybe you can write something on the chat room. Okay, we seem to have lost Olga, unfortunately. Okay, we'll get back to that later. And point number 12, it's a disclosure of policy, the disclosure policy for the trustees. So basically, we thought that it would be a good idea to have a policy for disclosure for trustees every time they get financial support from ISOC for obviously non-board related action. So for example, sometimes trustees, they need to go and give a presentation to a meeting, or they have to travel somewhere. So we would like to be more transparent in that sense, and we are working on a disclosure policy for that. Kevin is basically got all the feedback and he's putting that together. If I understood correctly, you're going to have something together shortly, right?
Yes, and I'll send it to the board by email.
Excellent. Okay, thank you, Kevin. Thanks a lot. Good. Then we have the future of ISOC discussions. We are working on basically discussing what the ISOC will look in the future, and we will have also separate discussions on that in the agenda, so we don't have to discuss that now. And then we have basically to finalize our action point list, 2 items that they were completed. The first one, to set up an encrypted file repository for trustees. Thanks, Kevin, for your help. I set it up the other day, and now everybody should be able to access it. And the last point was to establish basically an emeritus trustees discussion for current and former trustees. This action point actually was with the former chair, Bob, and Dave Farber, who was also a former trustee, and they basically put together a proposal. Kevin set up a mailing list, and we have invited all former trustees and current trustees, and the number of trustees that they have joined actually is quite high, so we are quite happy. I don't know if you have the latest stats, Kevin, but it was like around 75% or something like that.
Right. We invited 73 past trustees, all of them, all the living past trustees, and 50 of them have so far subscribed to the list. Plus, of course, we have the current trustees.
Okay, so it's good actually. I mean, it's around 70% of success. A bit less than that, but it's quite okay. Okay, we decided to have all these status report in an open session also, so that people can actually see what the trustees are working on and the type of tasks that we are basically not tracking. So thanks a lot. Okay, this basically concludes our open session, and now we're gonna be moving into executive session. We finished 5 minutes before because we have moved actually a point. So that means that we caught up actually on the delay we had at the beginning, which is great. So we are supposed to have a 10-minute break and then go into executive session. Do people need the break, or we can go straight on?
Can go.
Okay, so perfect. Then the session open to observers is gonna be opening in roughly 1 hour and a half. So observers are welcome to join in 1 hour and a half, 1 hour and 35 minutes roughly. Okay, thank you.
So Gonzalo, I take it you'd like me to pause the recording at this point?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, we're recording again when we're open.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. Okay, so welcome everyone. We are again in open session. There was a comment by someone.
No, Kevin, could you bring up the resolution to start?
Yes, so the next point in the agenda is 12. So the appointment of members of the PIR board, and the driver is Hans-Peter. So Hans-Peter, please go ahead.
Sorry, it's just a resolution we have to do, and it should come up soon.
Okay, so we have a resolution, and somebody needs to make the motion. So Hans-Peter, Hans-Peter moves the motion. Who seconds it? Harish. Okay, thank you. So Hans-Peter is gonna.
And as we don't see it, I read it. No, here it comes.
Okay.
It's page. Oops, no, that's the action plan. I can read the resolution. It's resolved the ISARC Board of Trustees appoints the following people to the Board of Directors of the Public Interest Registries for terms beginning in April 2017. Jeffrey Betzer for a term of 3 years, Eric Berger for a term of 3 years, Hartmut Glaser for a term of 1 year. That's a resolution. And our proposal was that the full resolution is voted, or the resolution is voted by the full board, and any member of the board with conflicts of interest should vote abstain.
Thank you, Hans-Peter. So we're gonna vote. We can do it by roll call, actually. So let me get the.
Any discussion? Sorry, before we start. No.
Yeah.
Then go, please.
Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna we're gonna vote by roll call. So if you are in favor, please say yes. If you are against, please say no. And as Hans-Peter mentioned, if you want to abstain, say abstain. So Walid?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
Gonzalo, I vote yes. Olga? 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 Did we lose Olga?
I can't see her.
Okay, Gihan?
Yes.
Thank you. Hans-Peter?
Yes.
Hiroshi?
Yes.
John?
I vote yes.
Desiree?
Abstain.
Alice?
Abstain.
Harish?
Yes.
Sean?
I vote yes.
Okay, checking if Olga is back. Okay, so it seems we lost Olga again. So John, please. She's back. Olga?
She's back now.
Yeah, Olga, can you hear me? Olga? Okay, it seems that she cannot hear us. Okay, this is, well.
She looks frozen. I think she's dropped.
Yeah, okay. In any case, I guess, I mean, talking to John as our secretary, I think the resolution passes anyway, right?
Yeah, we have 9 yes votes, which is a majority.
Okay, so the resolution passes by majority. Perfect. Okay, then the last point in the agenda for today is the consideration of the Chapter Advisory Council proposals. And just to give a status update to the chapters, we have actually analyzed, and if somebody can mute while you type that, that'd be perfect. So we have analyzed your proposals. We got staff analyze them as well, and they have sent us already their input. And now the token is with the board. We need to discuss among ourselves just to get back to those proposals. So we will basically start discussions. We have already started discussions, but we will continue discussing until we get consensus on our response, and we will get back to the Chapter Advisory Council as soon as possible. So having said that, this is the end of today's session. We will have another session tomorrow, again, starting at 11 UTC. So thank you very much, and I move to adjourn the meeting. Anybody seconds?
We're not adjourning, we're recessing.
Recessing, that's a good point. Yeah, recessing until tomorrow. So I move to recess. Somebody seconds? Harris, okay. Okay, thank you. So Kevin, you can stop recording at this point.